what makes Guard Tower Security different from the other security providers in Calgary?
There's two types of security company. There's the big one and the small one. The big one, they have the experience, they have the capability to take on stuff. The smaller one isn't. And the small one has also its pros. It's hands-on, the communications is better, the transparency with the client is better. So Guard Tower is in the middle. It bridges the gap. We want to have both qualities. We want to be hands-on, we want to be transparent, we want to be on the ground, and we want to communicate with the client. We want the client to know everything that's going on with the property and what we're doing, right? And we also want to have the experience and the capabilities to do that. That's what sets us apart from other companies. We bridge the gap. We provide the quality and the transparency of a small company and the capability and the experience of a big company.
And I think a lot of people, underestimate the impact of security.
If you want to go and live in a building, especially in today's time, and there's a security guard there, you're gonna feel more safe. Just one issue that can happen, it can destroy the reputation. Like if somebody tries to set fire for a building or just breaks in, the reputation of that building is gone. So it's totally worth it. Everybody's getting security. The need is just gonna keep growing. It's better to be safe. It's for a long-term investment. It's just the best investment any building can make in Calgary, and that's why we're seeing a high demand even outside of downtown.
Welcome to the Mastering Property Management podcast. I'm your host, Jared Sarbit. Join me as we delve into candid conversations with industry experts to uncover their strategies and insights for achieving success in property management. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, let's elevate your property management skills together. Hi, everybody. I'm Jared Sarbit, and this is Mastering Property Management. Today, I have the honor and privilege of having Nael Malaeb on, CEO of Guard Tower Security. Nael, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, no, it's so good to be here. I'm very excited. I've been watching your podcast for a long time, and the insights and the people you have been bringing on have been so informative. So no, it's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. Yeah, this one is kind of special for me. Now you've been a mentee of mine. I've been really fortunate over the years to have incredible mentors. I guess some years and a little bit of gray hair, has given me the privilege of being able to give back. And so I'm really excited to have you on, tell your story of Guard Tower Security. And if you can get into it, tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, what led you to launch Guard Tower Security and everything in between.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's also an honor for me to be mentored by you. So it all started when I was very young. I was about 10, and my dad worked for this very wealthy entrepreneur who was very successful too. And I used to go with him to work with my dad. And I used to go and see the cars that my dad, the guy that my dad worked with, the cars he had and the things he built. And that just inspired me from a young age. Like I'd be reading about that and learning about that while other friends would be like displaying soccer or doing other stuff, playing video games. I was the nerd of that, and it just kind of grew with me, right? As I grew older, I didn't know it at the time. Like I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do or how to do it or what money is, or like I was very young, but I just knew that when I grew up, I wanted to build something. I wanted to be that successful image that I saw at a young age. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. It's like looking in the mirror. That's
Absolutely.
why we get along so well. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I see myself in you, and the stuff that you built, the culture and the company that you built with PPC, I see Guard Tower going the same direction.
Yes.
And
before you keep going, if you don't mind, you've shared with me before, but who was that gentleman that your father worked for?
Yeah, his name is Walid Ibn Talal. He's a Saudi prince, but he's self-made. He actually went bankrupt 2 to 3 times. Yeah, he took a loan. He just went bankrupt. He took another loan. He went bankrupt 3rd time. It worked out. He made a lot of money. He just kept going. And he's at one point he was, and I think he still is, the wealthiest Arab person. All self-made. He's into investing a lot. He invests in companies, small, and he has this vision. And he just keeps going. Even now, at his age, he's, I think, around 70, and just keeps going. He always wants more. And that's I also see myself in him.
And your father was was a pastry chef, right? Or
that's right. Yeah, he does pastry. He's a pastry chef. He does low calorie stuff.
Yes.
Healthy diet, healthy food.
Amazing.
Rich people want to live young. Yeah,
you kind of grew up in that world a little bit. That's really neat. And am I right to say that you're like your father and the prince built a nice relationship, and they're in communication to this day? Is that right?
absolutely, absolutely. They know my dad knows him on a personal level. He
Yeah, so
My
cool.
dad's work ethic and just hard work over the years also helped his image a lot with the
Yeah.
prince, and they built a good relationship. Yeah, till this day, it's still very strong. Like even when my dad he was sick, he went to the hospital. Even the prince checked up on him. He called him a couple of times. Yeah, yeah. He it's amazing. It's amazing.
That
Yeah,
is that's pretty neat and very inspiring when you can see someone else doing it up close. I imagine that's a pretty powerful experience.
absolutely. Also very humbling. But yeah, and that's like what led me to do guard tower because when I grew up, I had this insane work ethic too, and I worked every other job and even as security guard. And when I was working as a security guard, I noticed that I can do a better job because it there's a lot of gaps that are missing in the industry itself, even with the way they treat the guards, with the way they treat the clients. So I decided to put my money where my mouth is, and here we are.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing, amazing, very
absolutely. Yeah.
good. And tell me a little about you personally. Like you kind of alluded to, your work ethic, but tell me some of the key characteristics that contribute to your success and that will continue to contribute to your guard tower success.
Absolutely. Yeah, like that too. Like from a very young age, just seeing my dad. My dad he has an insane work ethic. He'd come from work, do house chores, take us out, do everything. Like he just worked 16, 17-hour days every day. And that just inspired me too. And from a young age, I've been taught that hard work pays off, right? And it just grew with me. I've worked in construction, I've worked as a security guard, I've worked multiple jobs that require hard labor and a big work ethic. And I've also learned that we're also working smart. If you work smart too, that also helps. It's not just it's the combination of both, right? But it and my dad used to say I used to tell my dad that sometimes it does require luck. Like you can't just work hard every day and without being lucky. And my dad used to tell me, son, if you work hard every day, you're not gonna miss a lucky day. If you work 30 days a month, you're not gonna miss a lucky day. Eventually, you get it right. So that kind of just grew with me, and also my ability to like read and understand. I'm a solver. So when I'm talking to someone, I don't just listen to respond. I listen to understand. I wanna understand what your problem is. I want to give you solutions. I don't just wanna respond and seem like I know stuff. No, I want to know stuff. I'm humble enough to also say if I don't, right? And I'm willing to learn to just help out. Yeah. And that's and I see that in you too. That's why like I reached out when I was first starting out, and I used to watch your podcast, and yeah, you just resonate a lot with me. And I reached out. I take advice from you, and that helped me go a very long way. And it's amazing what we built. I'm very glad I reached out.
Yes, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, and I can attest to the listeners that Niall's work ethic is definitely through the roof. Your passion and your care for business. I don't think there's like 30 seconds of conversation that we don't have that's not about business. Like you're thinking about it 24/7. You're like this. Like this pressure cooker of like you got so much passion and so much energy and so much care and you're thinking about business all the time. So that's what really attracted me to you. That why I wanted to support you all the way is because I remember feeling that way very much. If you don't mind sharing, you're quite young. You're what, 21, 22?
22. I
22 years
turned
old.
22 this March. Yeah,
Oh, I
March
love it.
13.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also, I feel like it's a commitment, right? So I give a commitment to myself. I wanna prove myself that I can do that. And even to the client, if I made a commitment to the client, I'm gonna stay up all night to make sure we're doing a good job. And that's what makes me sleep at night. If I go to bed and I think, okay, I always think, can I do better for the client? Can I provide a better service? Am I living up to their expectation, going beyond? Am I solving their problem? And if the answers are yes to all of that, I can sleep. If not, I'll stay up till I fix it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And yeah,
No,
that's my brain is always thinking about work.
yeah.
It's a passion, right? It's not about the money. It's never about the money. It's every successful company who has built up and is so big, they're all doing it for passion. That's why you still see them going, even when they're a multi-billion dollar company. They don't need more money. It's just a passion. They want to build something.
Yes, exactly. It's an art. You're an artist in business. That's what
Exactly.
I always say, right? And you want to create, right? And
Exactly.
the metric to see if you're successful is the money. Is your art actually truly successful? Well, the money will determine that. But it's the process along the way that we all love, as entrepreneurs. So that's beautiful. You also somehow I think it was like I don't know when you graduated, but before I met you, you're already done. You your BBA, is that right, in finance and business administration? Is that correct?
That's
Uh,
right. Yeah.
yeah, at the from Mount Royal University. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that. And also, I imagine your education gave you a strong foundation for understanding the market dynamics and financial operations. Tell me how that background influenced the way you're building and running guard tower security. Especially in these early stages.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I went into university, I always had in mind that I wanted to build a business. So I tried to finish as fast as possible. I tried to get into uni as fast as possible, and I took all the semester that I can take just so I can finish and just focus on business. And it did help me a lot. Like I took a bachelor's of business administration with a focus on finance. So I didn't just learn finance. I learned how to be creative, how to be innovative, how to speak, and how to hire people, how to treat people, and how to communicate with them on a level they understand. Right. So it did help me a lot. These 4 years, 3.5 years I took at Mount Royal, even the network that I built, just looking at like my professors who are also like my mentors, they've been able to share their experience and what and how like the companies they worked at and how they did that and how experience is very important, right? Because you see the stuff they teach at university are stuff that have been studied for years and years and years, and they are proven to work in business. So just learning that just gave me a head start to, present my services and set bases for my company and just build small and eventually get big.
I love it. I love it. No, good for you. That's amazing. And that background in finance is so critical in business. So that's gonna help you all the way from beginning to end. So or not
Absolutely.
no end, but all the way. As you go through, it's so practical. So starting out is never easy. We Aaron and I went through it. We started Picture Perfect Cleaning. I mean, we worked day and night, didn't pay ourselves for the first year. And then I don't think we actually paid ourselves a consistent salary until year three. I remember, thinking like, going off 2, 3 hours of sleep a night and thinking, how are we going to do this? But I always saw that it was working, and so over time, by year three, year four, things started to turn. How are you approaching, building the business, client acquisition, and building a trusted name, in the industry, especially security, which requires a lot of trust.
Absolutely. Well, it's never easy. Nothing is easy. Everything that's good is hard, and you have to start small. You can't start big. Nobody started big, right? You have to learn, and you have to start small. And we've been doing that consistently. We focus a lot on quality. We don't just want to get big fast. We want to make sure that every client we bring on, we give an amazing service to. We don't take work that we think we can't handle, or we don't get ourselves into stuff if there's a risk that we're going to disappoint the client. So we start small, one client at a time, and we rely a lot on feedback. So if you do an amazing job for one client, that's good feedback. That's a 5-star review, and they're going to share it with other future clients, and we're going to stay consistent with that. Consistency is key. Consistency, not even with the quality, even with reaching out. If you stay consistent, eventually it's going to work out. It's like a rocket. When a rocket is going up to space, it doesn't stop halfway to take a break. It has to keep going. If it does, it falls down, and there's no way it's going to go back up. So it's all about consistency. If you're consistent, eventually, no matter how much it takes, if you have the passion, if you work hard, eventually it's going to work out. You keep providing good quality, you keep reaching out, getting the good feedback, learning, and yeah, it's you have to start small. Yeah, one at a time.
I'm probably going to say this multiple times throughout the podcast, but this is why I like working with you, because you get our mentality is very alike in that way. And it's not a race, it's quality all the way. And if you do that, you'll start to win. You'll start to, get more referrals, and always working, like you said, for that 5-star review. Not thinking just about that one client, but thinking about how are they going to recommend you for future business, and then you get that very well. So I love
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, what you've built with PPC is amazing.
Oh,
The reviews
thanks.
speak for itself, 170, I think, and
I think 162. I think.
everyone speaks positively of it. So that's
Yeah.
that's exactly
Yeah.
the same thing we're trying to build with
Yes.
Guard Tower.
Yes. I think we have two negative ones. One is a gentleman that owes us a lot of money, and we threatened to bring him to court. Actually, we did do a court order,
Oh,
uh, and then he wrote a Google review 2 years later, when he got the order. And the other one was, we don't know who it is. So,
okay. Yeah.
but that's going to
We,
happen. But overall, yeah, we're pretty obsessed about that quality. So no, I know the guard tower is on the exact same page there. Um, from your perspective, what role should a security company play in supporting property managers in their building? As of course, this is a property management podcast.
oh, security is very important because when when someone walks into a building and they say a security guard, sure, they might see Guard Tower Security, the badge, but the first thing they're going to think when they talk about it is the security guard at this building, and they're going to name the building, right? So we are basically representing that building. We are the first point of contact, even if it's not a concierge thing, even if it's a building. We are keeping the residents and the people going in and out secure and feeling safe. So it's very important. We focus on the small details, even the guard's appearance. We make sure our uniform is always clean. It's always tucked in. We don't have any loose shirts. Even the guard should take good care of their hygiene. They shouldn't not focus on that. Even their beard, it should be trimmed well, neatly, clean haircut too. We want them to be as presentable as they can. We also want them to be as informative as they can, because I can't count how many times I've walked into a building and asked the security guard for directions, or like an event going on, and they just point me at the wrong direction, or they say, I don't know. Well, I mean, that's not helping. You should know. You're the security guard there, right? So that's why at Guard Tower Security, we give post orders every day. We familiarize the security guard with what's going on. We provide customer service training, because customer service is very important. Like I'd say 95% of the guard's time is just about customer service and dealing with people. So we want them to greet the people well who come in, provide good customer service, provide a good experience, right? Have a smile on, have a good communications, good way to communicate with them. Just be familiar with what's going on.
I love it. No, very, very, very good answer. And
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I've had recent incidents where like I'm pretty geographically incoherent, so sometimes I get lost very easy, and where I've asked the security guard, like where do I go? How do I go to this place? And they literally pointed me in the wrong direction. And whether they didn't understand me, whether they just didn't care, or whatever it is, but that's critical, right? That the security guard understands his landscape, or her landscape, and knows the area, and can actually be more than just the eyes and ears of the property, which is certainly most important, but also being able to guide people, and have that, like you say, customer service.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Very good. What are some of the common gaps and weaknesses you've observed in the way security is typically handled on commercial and residential properties?
Yeah. Me being myself, I've worked as a security guard for multiple companies for a couple of years. And the one thing that I've noticed, and I'm not the only one that says that. Even when I hire guards for our company and I ask them about like their experience and whatnot, they always say the one thing: communication. They don't communicate with the guards. They don't give them the training. They just put them there and they rely on them to take responsibility, right? So it's basically the guard is taking instructions from the client and not the security company, and that's just taking time from the client, from the property manager, giving them a headache, having them to worry about that, instead of just having the security company having the peace of mind. right? So that's a big thing. They don't communicate with the guards well. They don't give them the resources. I'm sure the guards are amazing, but you have to give them the resources. You have to train them. You have to, for example, the post orders thing. You have to familiarize them with the property. Like we, the incidents that happened with us where we asked the security guard about something and he doesn't know. It's not the security guard's fault. It's not his job to go and ask around and see. It's the security company should give him the resources. They should give him the training on how to deal with that and how to answer that. That's a big thing. There's a lot of things, but that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Yeah. That's why we also don't want to grow too fast. We are focusing more on growing slower and more efficiently. We focus a lot on quality. We don't focus on money too much. That's why we don't mind like having more supervisors to for a set amount of guards, right? It's not just one supervisor for 50 guards. That's not gonna work out. We build small teams and we have one person that's responsible for that team. We don't build big teams. That's how we stay effective and have the quality we promise to the clients we bring on.
I love it. Awesome. How do you see the relationship between janitorial services and security teams? Obviously, there's a lot of overlap there. Is there room for more collaboration, in your opinion, in creating safer environments between the two services?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They both provide very similar roles. I think it's basically the same, just except the tasks, different tasks, but they're both on the ground. They're both hands-on. They both represent the client they work for, and there is collaboration. Absolutely, like we can have the same people do both stuff, right? The cleaner, and we've seen it at some properties where the cleaner would like clean, finish up, and just make sure the place is locked up, make sure everything is secure, make sure no one unauthorized is on the property, right? But there's limits with that. Like they can't basically do the same thing a security guard does because you have to be licensed. But there is absolutely collaboration there. If it's the right property and if it's the right site, we can absolutely do a lot of stuff. It's they're both representing the client. They're both on the ground. They can do the same thing and save money for the client. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, which is why we want, Aaron and I should mention Aaron too, want to, support you so much, Guard Tower, is because there is so much overlap. The same, we have a lot of the same customers, and we also it's the same approach and service. We're on stage, whether it's security or janitorial. It's a hands-on service. We're the eyes and ears of the property, like you said. So there's a lot of overlap. So, but a different service and a different need. So it makes a lot of sense for us to support you in that regards, and that's what makes me so excited about Guard Tower. And being able to see, and because you're so young, I know you got such a great future ahead. So, in 20 years from now, I can't wait. You're going to be probably double what PPC is, very exciting. What makes Guard Tower Security different from the other security providers in Calgary?
So there's two types of security company. There's the big one and the small one. The big one, they have the experience, they have the capability to take on stuff. The smaller one isn't, and the smaller one has also its pros, right? It's hands-on. The communications is better. The transparency with the client is better. So Guard Tower is in the middle. It bridges the gap. We want to have both qualities. We want to be hands-on. We want to be transparent. We want to be on the ground, and we want to communicate with the client. We want the client to know everything that's going on with the property and what we're doing, right? And we also want to have the experience and the capabilities to do that. So that's exactly what Guard Tower is, and that's what sets us apart from other companies. We bridge the gap. We provide the quality and the transparency of a small company and the capability and the experience of a big company.
I love it. Yeah, very, very good. How are you building a team culture at Guard Tower? What kind of people are you looking for to bring on board? And also, what are you doing to differentiate the culture, with Guard Tower?
Honestly speaking, I think we're building the same thing you built with PPC. We are building it's more of a partnership with the people we bring on. We care about them, we take care of them, and we communicate that we want them to know that we care about them. It's not just another body that we put on. We support them. We even on a personal basis, like we take care of them, and in return they take care of our clients, right? Because if they love the company, it may not be the highest paying job, but it's going to be the best job. It's going to be it's going to be a good culture. We want the people with us to also learn and grow with us. We don't, for example, if we want to look for a supervisor or for a manager, we look at our company, at our guards, people who are familiar with our culture, people who grew with us. So that way they can keep on growing with us instead of just bringing someone from the outside who will have to go over the process with them again. So that's the culture. We want our guards to take care of our clients, and we take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. How important is technology in today's security solutions? Are you integrating tools like surveillance systems, access control, or real-time reporting for your clients?
Oh, technology is so important, not just in security, in every other company. You see, the companies that fail are the ones who didn't keep up with technology. And most security companies are doing that too now. They're just too big, they don't care. They don't even focus on that. But yeah, no, absolutely. Technology allows us to be more efficient. It allows us to save more time, and it allows us to communicate and be more transparent with the client. We have everything from GPS tracking. We track our guards when they're on site using their personal cell phones, so that way they don't leave their work cell phone. But we don't obviously track them outside of work. But there's issues where the guards would show up, clock in, and just leave the site, and that's something that would never happen with us because we make sure we are tracking them. We make sure we can even see it's a precise location tracking, so we can see they're doing the patrols at the time they're supposed to do it and the route that we have discussed with the client and with us as a team. We also have a documenting system where whether it's a QR code or a chip that you scan or just a photo that you scan or a report that you fill in, we want to make sure that there's checkpoints, and we pick the checkpoints based on the site, based on the client, based on the issues. Like, for example, if there's a retail store inside a building and it's a high risk area where people can go break in and steal stuff, that's definitely going to be a checkpoint, right? And we use AI to do that because eventually we can figure it out. But with AI, would be saving time if they do the route for us and they do the checkpoints for us. And of course, all that I spoke about is the client can see it through a client portal, right? So they know exactly what's going on. It's the transparency again. We don't just want to put a guard there and be like, yeah, we have a guard there. We want to earn your trust. You can take my word for it, but you better know that I'm gonna actually put in the action and put in the work to make sure you trust us, because you can never know.
Yeah, no, it's true. Um, so I had another individual on the podcast just the other day, and she was saying, like security is just the demand for security is totally different than it was, 10 years ago, where it's getting higher and higher because crime's increasing, people are in tougher financial situations, getting more desperate. Where now, like, it's not just about the downtown where you need security downtown. You kind of always needed that. We're now actually even in the burbs, they're finding that they need security there as well, a presence. Where do you see guard tower security in the next 3 to 5 years? I know you're a big dreamer. So we spoke before this, and I said, keep your vision big. But yeah, like, we also have to make sure quality is there. So 3 to 5 years, and then what is your long-term vision?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right on that. I do dream big, but I also focus on quality. Like I don't risk anything. I don't want to get big too fast, but I want to get big eventually. So I see guard tower like we don't want to grow fast. So in 3 years I see myself being guard tower being a top security provider in Calgary, and hopefully beyond that we can go to Alberta. But as long as we do it effectively, as long as we're building the roots, right? As long as we're bringing in people who understand exactly how it's not, because it's a chain, right? Like we start with this is the most crucial part of the company, the hiring. It's like a tree. If you have, or like a building, a property manager, like, right, that resonates a bit. If you have a strong base, you can go up high. If you set a strong root. So we are trying to communicate that and build that, because once we hire someone and he hires someone, it's a chain. So if it starts with a good hire, and one bad hire can affect this whole chain and affect a big part of the company. So we wanna focus on quality. We wanna be very hands on. It's not about the money. It's we want to provide a good service. We want to provide good jobs for the people in Calgary and Alberta and all over Canada. And eventually we are gonna grow as much as we can. And but for now, my focus is just on today, on the present. I think ahead, but I don't. Also, one step at a time. I want to make sure we are doing a good job. We're providing good quality, and then after that, it's we decide on what happens.
Awesome. The good thing is you're only 22, you know, and so I know that I didn't like when people said that when I was your age. I was like,
No, it's
no,
okay.
I want to make it now. I want it now.
Yeah,
But
I
you know,
know.
you understand that you know, like we didn't start picture perfect cleaning until I was 29.
Wow.
I wish I started earlier, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, like you have time on your side, and you're right. I think you're bang on to focus on quality. And once you build those roots, like you described, then it's you know, and then you can really go to the next level. So yeah, great philosophy. What advice would you give to property managers who are currently evaluating or struggling with their security setup?
That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that. So first of all, you wanna the property. Every property is different. Not everyone has the same problem. So the first thing they want to do is evaluate and figure out what their problem is. I tend to read between the lines and I tend to figure out, even if it's not being communicated well, I tend to figure out what the problem is. But other security companies, I don't think they they're gonna do that. So first thing the property manager do is just figure out what their problem is and write it down or just memorize it. Whether it's a homelessness issue like people getting breaking in or people stealing or just providing concierge customer service. Once they determine the problem they want to solve, they can start looking for security companies that are understand that and give actual solutions, not just put a body there and So once they do that, they can communicate it well with their security provider. They can ask them okay, how would you fix that? What's your solution, right? And if it's a solution that would solve the problem and they think it's good, then they can go ahead and go with a security guard. But the important and very critical thing is to figure out your problem because every property is different.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It makes sense. And I think a lot of people, you know, underestimate the impact of security. You know, I think, you know, I certainly am guilty of that, is thinking, well, it's just a person that, you know, prior to exposing myself to the industry, you know, it's just a person that stands there, you know, and looks around and, but there's it's a lot more than that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's always
and
worth it. Yeah.
yes,
It's
yeah,
always worth it. Even for the client, like it boosts their morale. Like it makes them feel more safe. It's a selling point basically. If you say like if you want to go and live in a building, especially in today's time, and there's a security guard there, you're gonna feel more safe because there's houses being broken into, there's stuff being vandalized, and it's worth it because one like just one issue that can happen, it can destroy the reputation. Like if somebody tries to set fire for a building or just breaks in, the reputation of that building is gone. So it's totally worth it. Everybody's getting security. It's the need is just going to keep growing. It's better to be safe. It's for long-term investment. It's the best investment any building can make in Calgary, and that's why we're seeing the high demand even outside of downtown.
yes, and you know, kind of what I was also going to say is that it's you know security is security, but it's those that manage them. You know, the companies that manage them that they're putting all the systems in place and ensure all the training is there and all that. That really can separate one company from another. And I know Guard Tower is very much doing that. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, no, very good. If you could provide security for any famous property in the world, what property would that be and why?
That's a very interesting question. Oh, there's a lot, but I'd probably say like the White House because I know the White House is it's where the president stays, one of the most important people in the whole world, and I know the security there is just top notch. I'd have fun. It'd be the best job I can ever have in the world. Just putting systems in, providing security, and providing a good experience for everyone who
Let's
visits
aim for
or
it.
stays
Let's
there.
aim
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
That's good.
One day, I know.
if you can say it and you can see it, then you can reach it, right? So yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be pretty neat to guard the White House. I guess you'd have to be very politically neutral because the swing, the different parties, different swings
that's
quite a
true.
bit. So yeah,
I'd served for only 4 years, and then they switched me out. We
fair
can
enough.
take it beyond that and just guard the president at one point. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
We
that'd
can
be
go
amazing.
up against the Secret Service.
Yeah, I love that. That's thinking big. That's thinking big. I
Why
told
not?
you, you're a dreamer. I love it. But that's
Yeah.
where you gotta dream big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very good. If you could recommend one book to property managers, or just a book that personally has impacted you in your journey, what book would that be, and why?
Oh, there's so many great books, but I think one that stood out is Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. The reason is because the book talks about just going above and beyond, just providing a good experience and a good customer satisfaction for your clients. And I think that's one of the most important things in property management because they're always dealing with whether it's commercial or residential, they're always dealing with people. And if they can provide a good and an amazing experience and just know how to make everything more efficient and just communicate in a better way with their people that with their clients. I think it's yeah. I think it's going to be it's there's other books, but I think this is the one because customer service is a big thing in the property management industry.
Yeah, hospitality. It's all about hospitality.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. No, that's amazing. That's the second time someone's recommended that book, actually.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, our friend at Aspen Properties, Morley Barr, also recommended that. Yeah, and I read it after him, and yeah, it was very, very impactful. You're right that going above and beyond and not thinking of it as a service, but as a hospitable. Really making someone feel at home and welcome and being warm and giving people a connection. Oh, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, Morley is a great guy if he's doing it right. So if he
Yeah.
recommended the book and I did too, I think it's just the right book for property
Yeah, yeah,
managers.
yeah, yeah. Aspen's knocking it out of the park for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right on. Um, how can property managers or building owners or anyone that's looking for security services or just wants to chat with you? How can they reach out and find Guard Tower or find you personally?
Absolutely. They can reach me anywhere they can, honestly. LinkedIn, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn or the company's phone number, which is 403-768-5260. Or they can visit our website, guardtowersecurity.ca or guardtower.ca. We have both domains. They can request a code. They can learn more about the company on our website, or they can give me a call. We can have coffee, send a text message, LinkedIn, or the phone number I gave.
Right on. Great. No, that's perfect. Now, so good to have you on. You're. I can't wait to watch your journey over the next little while. I've really genuinely enjoyed our relationship, and as it develops, and supporting you with Guard Tower, and we'll continue to support you. We're your biggest fans. Aaron and I are both helping you out in this, and are I would say fairly involved, to see your success. So all the best. Thank you so much for coming on, and can't wait to check back in with you, and even a year from now. Can't wait to see where
Thank
things
you.
are at.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It's a pleasure to be here, and I've learned so much from you, and I'm relaying that and I'm happy to be also sharing that with other people who might want to learn because I had the privilege to have great mentors like yourself and other, and yeah, I'm just happy to be on the podcast. You had amazing people on, and you're building an amazing thing. So yeah,
Thank
no, keep pushing, and yeah, no, hopefully in a year from now, gonna have amazing news.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Thank you, Now. All the best, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome, thank you.